Today is day 8 of Psych 365 or 365 Days of Psychology. This series is loosely based on the book 365 Days of Psychology by Lee, which was published in 2024. So today we're going to get into one of my favorite topics, which is your brain. So we're going to be talking about neurons, neuroplasticity, and the prefrontal cortex. This is going to be a short introduction to your brain. The fact that we can think about our brain, that we can learn about our brain, is got to be a little brain bending, maybe. I don't know. But the fact that we can use conscious thought is literally nothing short of amazing. Your brain is amazing. Let's look at some facts about our brains. So our brain is about 300, can you imagine? Heavy hit, 3.5 pounds. Okay. And it is made up of multiple types of cells. The most famous, the ones that we may have heard of already, are called neurons. Neurons are going to be sending and receiving information via chemical and electrical signals in our brains. And groups of neurons working together in order to do certain things, those sorts of things. Are going to be called neural networks. And so our neural networks are going to be doing learned and well-performed activities together. It's like they're dance partners that have been dance partners for a really long time. Our brain is what we call plastic, not meaning that your brain is made of plastic. No, no. But what it means is that it can be flexible and it can gain new networks through learning. It can heal cells that have been harmed. Now, the important point there is can, not always will, can. This is especially possible if children are young and healthy. If we are healthy in terms of, water, food, sleep, um, exercise. So in terms of keeping our body healthy, if our brain and our bodies are healthy, then we are more likely to, heal things that are not working correctly in our brain, unless obviously damage is really bad, and especially if brain didn't get oxygen. But that's a whole different story for another day. So even if something happens to the brain where, part of your brain is punctured or something like that, and those cells are no longer working, the brain can actually develop a kind of workaround to work around the area that isn't working anymore. And so this is what we call neuroplasticity, or talking about how your brain is plastic. The prefrontal cortex, whenever I talk about parts of my brain, I always touch that part of my brain. That's how I learned it. That's how I remember it. That's how a lot of my students learn to remember it as well. So if that helps you, cool. But just remember, you're going to be walking around like taking a test, being like, it's like head, shoulders, knees, and toes, but about your brain. So the prefrontal cortex is our area of our brain that we attribute reasoning, decision making, and planning to. In thinking, even reading this slide, it feels seamless, like we just do it. Let me put it this way. Many people, it feels seamless. We just do it. Obviously, if your brain works differently, if you have dyslexia, maybe it doesn't feel seamless, right? But the brain is so complex and it's so sophisticated, and it makes thousands of decisions every single day. Most of them are not things that we actively think about, but it does all of these decisions every single day. And it takes abstract information such as sensory information from your eyes and, moves it around in your brain. We'll talk about that a little bit in a couple of weeks, and perceives it and then makes a decision and sees like, oh, that's my son. Oh, that's this specific Pokemon, things like that. The fact that our brains are able to do all of those things is absolutely amazing. So keep watching, keep learning about psychology with this series, and we will continue to talk about just how cool your brain is.